Hello, everyone. Today I would like to tell you a little bit about my rather extensive writing process. The only reason it is so detailed is because I'm trying to work on my series as a whole. So I've been trying to combine everything that I've had for a while and then put those together in the long term story arcs and things like that and the ins and outs of my book. Of my book projects, I should say. This is not really recommended for first time authors. This is mostly for people who have been in writing for a while and if you have a large scale project with multiple characters. To introduce a little bit about my book, Rise of Tourniquet, I started it when I was in eighth grade and it was based on my drawings. And my grandma had actually inspired me and talked me into writing stories with my drawings. I always had some sort of story with them, but I never actually sat down to write them down. So this is what this book is, and it's a collection of those stories, but worked into a chronological order. And in this book, it actually takes place. Each chapter takes place from a different person's perspective, and 35 characters are introduced, 22 of which have characters, and it is about a man named Tourniquet who lures people to an island who has them fight to the death for reasons you find out about later. So, anyways, about my writing process, I first said that it began with me and my drawings. So, this is actually a printout of almost 700 pictures on DeviantArt. This was a pain to do. I zoomed out and went to our public library and printed this off. And this was the pictures I had on DeviantArt, and there were a few of them that were actually cut off. I have that many on DeviantArt, and I haven't even updated it lately, so I have well over 1,000 pictures, and no telling how many characters in my imagination. I made a list one time. There's at least 108 going around at the same time and stuff. So I'm just trying to hone in on those characters, and if they don't get a story, if they're not being used at this time, either trash them, get rid of them, or bring them back another time. Also, if you like my bow tie, if you don't, that's fine. It's fine. But if you do, I actually made it for my Alistair costume for Hasbin Hotel, and I just thought to wear it today and make it special. So, anyways, starting with my writing process. Anytime I have an idea and I'm not quite sure where to go with it, I start by putting it in this book. This book was given to me by my friend Monica from high school, and she was very nice. And she had a note that she put, and it says, "Hello, this is my gift to you. I hope you like it. Thank you for being there for me and being honest, even when it hurt. You don't know how much that means. Love you, buddy. God bless you, Monica K. Peak." So she actually put my name right here too. She did a steampunk theme. Her and her mother put this together. I have definitely been using it. I just haven't got the chance to tell her that I have. But I use it for all kinds of maps and plannings. I have things for the titles that I've got working on, and there's a little cross too. They put a lot of time and effort into it, and I do like some concept sketches, and like there's a weapon design I had going on, and then it's just a really nice book that they made that is helping me put together the long-term story elements before I actually use it. And I've actually used it so much that it started to fall apart a little bit. So we have to be very careful with that. So, anyways, she made one thing that's really special about all these books here is they were either provided by somebody or they were given, the idea was provided by somebody. So in this case, Monica gave me this book, and this book is used for the long-term planning as a whole before it happens. Now, as it happens, each of my novels, I'm working on 8 to 10 novels here. One which is finished, 2 which are in the works within the next couple of months or so. This is Rise of Tourniquet. So In 8th grade, when I started this project, I did not write anything down. I wrote it first, had a bunch of junk that I didn't know how to make sense of it. This is how. My good friend Ron Stacker Thompson, his director friend, whose name I forget, unfortunately, she told me that any idea you have, put it in a notebook. At first, I was like, yeah, right, that can't help. I made about 7 notebooks that week. So this one, I worked on an idea that I already had. I started this book December 12th, 2016, and it is now 2020. A year ago, the book was done. Just a year and a month ago, the book was actually finished using the last edits, and it was amazing. I mean, it was great. So anyways, I put a table of contents in this, and without giving too much away, here's actually one of my favorite pages that I can share with you. Without looking at the names, you can see the pretty little colors, and I put a color code if they are male, female, villain. Let's see, male, female, chapter, have a chapter, hero, villain, all in this, and their connections. So this is a great way to, if you have a lot of characters, to keep it up with that. I also wrote down what happened in each chapter, and sometimes I have had a lot of issues with reconstructing a chapter as a whole. So I actually have, let's see, it was somewhere in here, was an entire blown up reconstruction of a chapter. And like I said, this is mostly for writers who have big things going on. Not saying that there's people who don't, but it's just, I can't seem to find that page, but trust me, it's in there. But this is for people who are using long-term, large-scale products and keeping up with where your people are at all times and what they're doing. For example, let's see, without the names, you can see on the covering here is the names of my people, and then a checklist of each chapter and if they were in it and if they were not. So I mean, it's just a great way for that. But moving on, if there's anything else, I put the history, items, locations, and all that kind of stuff all right here. So that's something I've been working on. Now, I actually typed the book first. So it was easy to do something like this, okay? So I typed it first, went back, made notes, and fixed it. Okay, and I also wrote all the changes that I had to do, which was a lot. So now the next step is my lovely little laptop. So I do have files backed up everywhere, back them up online, back them up on flash drives, back them up, back them up, back them up. So you actually get to type it. So like I said, I typed it first, then went back, made this, then I reconstructed those things, spent hours on that. Then I moved to reconstructing them on the actual document. So that the typing process is really short. This is why I don't like being considered a author or a writer or a novelist. It's not an insult because it is something that you do. It's just not everything you do. You are telling a story. You are constructing a world. You're putting so much work into what it is your project is trying to convey. So that's why it's very important to understand this isn't just, oh, I just wrote this overnight. No, it started with the drawings, started with getting these ideas onto paper, which I prefer over writing, ironically, because you can see a drawing and its final part sooner than you can writing. And there's no real way to practice writing. If you draw and practice per picture or sketch. With writing, you can't really practice writing a novel unless you're like me and you have 5 projects that you thought were boring and you just trashed them and all. For more information on that, check out my 10-year video on my old account, BayonettaFan001. There's somewhere in that video I do talk about that, but just not here. So here we have where you type it and everything, but now we come to a point where we actually did make a print copy of this. This is the old cover that I had for my book. It has since changed, and I just did not get the prints for that. They were provided by my good friend Rose. And actually, this computer came from Monica's uncle, so that was nice. But Rose, she has helped me with this. This is not her cover, this is mine. But we have what is here. We have the first 12 chapters in this part of the book. So you can see, oh look, Baby Jacksta again. So you can see like the drawings, how it's supposed to look like, and it'll just be in a book form later, or in like smaller pages. And this was just the first 12 chapters. This is the last. No, this was 11, this is 11. Because there's 22 chapters, you put it together and you got a book. So that's how that works. Now, whew, very heavy. For the second half of this video, please click on the link provided. And please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos.